Well, obviously, it's the start of conference play. This is the number one thing we play for is a conference championship. To do that, you got to win your division. It's a division game, not only a conference game. Have to do it on the road. The first 2 weeks, we're going to go on the road. We're excited, though. I think the first 3 games prepared us. We've grown. We need to keep making continual steps to further that growth, but I like where our team is at right now, but we've clearly got to get better to win a conference game on the road.
Have you digested the Utah game yet?
Oh, yeah, we have. And there were some things that we were pleased with, and some things obviously you got to work on. Offensively, we felt we left a lot of plays out there that we could have made. Sometimes we were running routes a little short, which hurt us on some third down conversions. We had a critical penalty, a false start on 3rd and 1. We had a 3rd and 6, and we ended up running for 5, to be a little bit short. Some of those things, created a situation where we couldn't sustain drives, which is why we had the huge disparity in time of possession. This combination defense got to get off the field. They had a bunch of 3rd and 1s that Booker did a nice job of moving the sticks. And offensively, we got to convert more on 3rd down. Although, later on we did, so the end stats looked decent. When the game was in the balance, the first 3 quarters, we needed to do a better job getting it more manageable 3rd downs.
They also had a lot of 4th down conversions. Most of theirs were on your side of the field. You had some 4th and short opportunities just shy of midfield. Were any of those tempting to go for it? Did you come close to pulling the trigger on any of them?
Yeah, we always discuss those, but I thought we were playing pretty good base defense. And we felt if we made them go the long, hard way, that ideally we'd get some stops in there. They did have a couple drives that were long, but our defense up until that last 14 seconds, had only given up 17 points, and while they were on the field. So I felt pretty good there, and I just didn't want to put them in a situation if we did not convert, where we're giving Utah a short field where they were going to be going for it on 4th down.
Did that catch you off guard, the pass with 14 seconds left? I've heard you mention it a couple times. Is that one that bugged you a little bit?
Apparently they thought they needed the 3rd score with 14 seconds to win. You have to ask Coach Whittingham that one.
Questions for Coach? Got the microphone?
Coach, could there be maybe a confidence issue with this team coming off a couple bad losses at all? And if there is, how do you address that?
I think if we didn't compete, if we played poorly, if we were in disarray, there would be. But there are things that are very fixable, very, coaching-wise, we feel we can fix. We felt we played 2 of the best teams in the country. I think Ole Miss kind of proved that on Saturday night. I think Utah is a very strong contender in the Pac-12 South Division in particular. That's a great division. We'll see this week when they have to go to Eugene. But when we're playing well and executing, we feel we can play with those teams. So I think you gain a little bit of confidence. Clearly, you gain a lot more confidence when you win. But when you come in and you watch the film, you realize we had our opportunities of things very manageable for us that we didn't execute. We've got to get better at it. We've got to learn from it. We know with a young team, they have to kind of go through that growing process. Chasen had to go through those reads where now he'll feel more comfortable. And I don't know if we've announced this yet, Jason. We do have an update on Chasen's health. Unfortunately, he broke his clavicle, and so he will miss the remainder of the year. He'll have surgery later this week.
So building off of that, what does that mean for the quarterback situation? Is it Zach then at this point?
Well, yeah, of course, we're going the other direction, and give Ford and Gilton a chance to compete in there.
Your feelings, just I know you're probably hurting then for Chasen, at a time like this when it's just getting going and then that injury happens.
Yeah, obviously, but that's why you go through the non-conference schedule, getting a couple quarterbacks ready. Unfortunately, injuries are part of football, and you got to play guys in order to have that experience. I really liked how Zach competed at the end of the game. The fact he's played in all 3 games, and effectively moved our offense. I thought he looked as good as he ever did at the end of that game last week. Threw the ball particularly well, and got the ball to some of our explosive playmakers. To Jameer and Damari, and the more he develops that rapport, will be good. And then we'll see, with Ford and Kilton, they're going to obviously get added reps now.
The San Jose State, that last time you guys were in San Jose, that loss, does that play a factor into this as far as like a revenge thing? Do the guys remember that? I mean, are they kind of itching to get back there?
Well, I'm sure the guys that went there, 2 years ago, we don't have a ton of them right now. Not necessarily a revenge thing, but obviously left with a bad taste in their mouth. But they're a totally different team, different guys. We're just trying to get a conference win. They're a little bit with their backs up against the wall. They had to go on the road and lost their conference opener. Obviously, at home, they want to hold serve, and so we know we're going to get their best shot. We've got to play our best game of the year to go compete up there.
Coach, when you look around the Mountain West the last 2 weeks and there haven't been a lot of wins, does that affect your optimism as to what you guys can accomplish in the conference?
No, I mean, we're obviously optimistic. We think we can compete for a division championship every year. The fact that a lot of Mountain West teams had some very difficult games the last couple weeks. When you're going to College Station, when you're going to East Lansing, those are tough venues to go play in. And in a non-conference schedule, I think you gain things from going and playing teams that are top 20. So we know once we get in conference, we'll get everybody's best shot. We plan on giving them our best shot.
With Chasen, I'm guessing you had a chance to talk to him since the diagnosis. What was his state of mind, and how did you try to frame the future?
Obviously he's disappointed. He felt he was making gains. We all did. But I think this is a tremendous opportunity for him. We're obviously going to petition the NCAA to get this year back for him. It'll be another chance for him to learn. He'll get to see the rest of the season out. He won't compete, obviously. But he'll get another spring, another fall. So having this experience and having next fall be his redshirt freshman year, I think is really an advantage for him. Academically, he'll have a chance to hopefully get an advanced degree by the time he's done here. And then, obviously with the experience, he won't be a true redshirt freshman. I mean, he'll be a redshirt freshman that played a few games.
And with regard to the specific things he can do to grow as a quarterback while he's not playing, are there some things that you think can be really valuable for him? Like, will he go up in the box and watch from there, and what kinds of things?
I don't anticipate we'll have him in the box, but obviously he's going to be in the meetings with our quarterbacks and going through that tape all the time. He'll be on the sideline with us. He'll be a guy that's going to be very, very involved in everything we do, and I think just absorbing all that is going to be tremendous for his growth, because like I say, he's been there. He's had to make those reads, and now he's going to see Zach go through that evolution as well, and hopefully, it'll spill onto him.
Coach, sorry, going back to the conference, the Mountain West as a whole, do you think it would be important for the conference to win a game or two, like in the last 2 weeks, more than they did?
Well, I think it obviously looks good when you have opportunities to play top 25s and you beat them. It didn't happen. We don't have any control over that. The Mid-America Conference had some quality wins the last couple weekends, I believe. Obviously, when you're in that group of 5 trying to get that New Year's Six Bowl bid, those kind of things sway people. But I think as we get into the season, I think the quality of play in our conference, I think it's as deep as it's ever been, as far as there's no one team clearly ahead of everybody. We'll just have to bear ourselves out, and I don't know how many. We have another non-conference game later in the year. I don't know how many other teams do, but I think those obviously can help you or hurt you depending on how you do against the other conferences.
Coach, obviously Zach's going to be your quarterback moving forward. I think that's, as you said, a given. As far as the number 2 guy, with Ford coming in as late as he did, how ready do you think he would be if he had to come to the game for you?
Well, he's been learning every week. But, even though we've been getting 2 quarterbacks ready, Ford's been getting some reps as we're trying to develop him. Obviously, those reps will go up. And Kilton has gone through a spring with us. He brings a particular skill set a little bit different than the other guys, so we'll probably tailor some things for him as well.
Is there any benefit at all to anybody, the team, I guess, knowing who the starting quarterback is now, going forward?
I mean, our team knew last week who the starting quarterback was, so I don't know that it's any different. You know, maybe it relaxes Zach a little bit more, but I don't know that the team really cares, you know, one way or the other. I thought both quarterbacks in all 3 games, you know, effectively, you know, moved the offense and did some really good things. So it wasn't like one was head and shoulders better than the other. It's unfortunate that it worked out this way, that through injury it's fine, but you know, I'm glad that both of them got reps so that, you know, we're in a situation where a quarterback has played and is going to be our guy going forward.
More questions for Coach?
How would you gauge the resilience of your team on Saturday night? Because you talked about some of the things, you know, there are execution issues, then there were things that really were out of your control when you're hinging on an instant replay decision or, you know, an offsetting penalty in the red zone that could have given you a first and goal. And we saw your frustration on the field. But how would you gauge the way your team responded to those situations?
I was really impressed with our guys. I think we've got really good senior leadership. You know, you look at the second half, and we came in at halftime feeling pretty good. You know, we're down a couple scores. We thought, hey, one score, we'll get right back in it. We were going to get the ball, you know, in the second half, and we you know, we lose the kickoff return on a fumble. You know, it took a while to review that. You know, I think a year ago our guys may have gotten disheartened, but our guys went in there with resolve and found a way to take the ball back. I think that energized us. You know, we had some, you know, major breakdowns on the kickoff coverage. We did a great job the first 5 kicks. You know, but we you know, messed that one up, or however the number was. But on that particular one, you know, we had guys in position, just didn't make the tackle, you know, early on. You know, Damari makes a great play and forces, you know, a fumble that we recover. Those kind of things, especially for a young group, that can be demoralizing, but our guys kept fighting. I really liked how our offense moved the ball late, kept fighting. I think that's probably why they threw the ball at the end, because, you know, they felt like, you know, they thought they had the game in hand, and, you know, we kept fighting back.
That was their first passing touchdown of the season. Maybe they wanted that instead. San Jose has played Gray and Potter from the get-go, and then last week they worked Watson into a 2 quarterback. How would you assess those 3 quarterbacks and the different threats they pose?
Well, I believe Potter got hurt last week, but it looked like he was going to be the guy. Very athletic guy. They all have similar skill sets in as far as they're athletic guys who can throw the football. You know, Gray's been with them the longest, I believe. You know, he done some good things. You know, I think he threw an interception last week, and then they brought Watson in. He's an athletic guy, strong-arm guy, but hadn't repped much. You know, when you're 3, you don't get a chance to rep much. So I'm sure he'll get 10 more reps this week, and I imagine it'll be Gray and then Watson.
Coach, this week, going with Mountain West play and the first 2 on the road, is this like a must-win game for the guys being on the road, the first 2 on the road?
Every game in conference, particularly in the division, are must-wins for our guys. You know, if you want to win the division, you got to win. You got to win on the road. So, you know, this is a big game for our school. You know, we've been playing these guys 79 times. I think it's 40, 35, and 3. So it's very, very tightly contested. Playing for the Valley Trophy. Our guys are going to be jacked up to try to go 1-0 this week.
And also, with the offense going with Greenby, not necessarily changing philosophy, but we noticed that Greenby has a more vertical game in his arsenal. So that's something that play selection might, you know, I know you want to give away game plan, but play selection for Greenby, is it going to be different than Virgil's?
No, I mean, we had the exact same game plan for both quarterbacks last week, but again, what we do with our plays, there's a lot of run pass and reads that are involved, and it depends on coverage and matchup. So, you know, Zach happened to have some situations where vertical throws were there, and he did a terrific job finding those guys. You know, but as we practice and the same calls were made in the first half that were in the second half were very similar ones. It's just, you know, the read of the quarterback and the confidence in making the throws.
Coach, what would you like to see from your young wide receivers as they continue to develop?
Well, they have to continue to make progress. I liked, Jameer, the growth he's made in the first 3 games. I thought he blocked very well. He showed some of his explosibility with some of his catches, the other night. I think Damari being back has brought an intensity to that group that he's setting a standard that those young guys need to match. Josiah's done well for a newer guy, but he needs to take another step. We're going to continue to push him. I think Keyshawn with the competition is getting better, and he'll continue to get better as a freshman. And it looks like we're going to get Deli back this week.
That was going to be my next question. Where is he in terms of his recovery?
Physically, he's been cleared, so he'll practice this week, and we'll see how the week goes as far as how many reps he gets.
Let's go to the teleconference real quick. Elliot, are you with us on the phone still?
Yes, I am, and I appreciate everybody taking a moment to let me ask a couple questions. Tim, I wanted to talk about your running game, particularly because San Jose State, over the last 2 seasons, or season and third right now, have struggled. They're giving up about 300 yards a game at this point. Is Waller, I wasn't quite sure if I heard this, but is Waller, I know he hasn't lead the game after that great first half. Is he back to start with?
Yeah, I'm not sure what you're referring to. Yeah, Martez is not back. He's not been out.
And, in spite of that, what do you think you can do to exploit a team that is struggling stopping the run?
Well, I think what you've got to do is you got to put it in perspective. It's real easy to, just look at the stats and say they're giving up 300 yards. They play the Air Force Academy, who runs triple option. There's a reason that they gave up a lot of yards, and the other thing is they're playing excellent pass defense. So if you're looking to attack, San Jose State, and you're a top 10 team passing wise, and you want to win football, sometimes you want to run the ball more than you maybe normally would. With us, we try to be balanced. We try to give what the defense, gives us. We try to take what the defense gives us. But Greg Robinson's an excellent defensive coordinator. He knows what he's doing. He's been doing it for a long, long time. We have tremendous respect for him. I think they've got some really nice linebackers, good size up front. So as far as seeing an area of weakness, you don't see it on there. But it's we've got to establish some run. We like Martez in the run game, and I think Malik Meisenheimer and Dustin Garrison gave us some 1-2 punch. But that wasn't because Martez was hurt. It was just we were getting all 3 of our backs involved in the game.
And as far as, in a strange way, you and Coach and Ron Carragher both have a similar situation with the quarterback, just because it depends how injured Kenny Potter is. But is it more difficult to sort of strategize and go into a game in which you're not sure exactly if somebody's going to play or not?
I think it can be, but as I look at all 3 of the San Jose State quarterbacks, there's enough similarities there that it's nuance on which is the quarterback. I see them, all running the same game plans. Coach Borges, you can see his signature on the offense this year. They're very multiple. Clearly, they're going to find ways to get Tyler Irvin the ball, and he does it in very creative ways. I think he's one of the most explosive players in our conference, and that no matter who the quarterback is, I think that's where the offense starts, is with Tyler Irvin.
Thanks, I'll land and talk over to the guys in there.
Okay, no worries.
Coach, the way Zach played in the fourth quarter and making some plays and seeing some success against a Power 5 team, what is that going to do for him, you think, his psyche now as he gets to start, in a conference game on the road?
Well, I would certainly hope he'd get some confidence from him. Zach has, I think, improved tremendously from a year ago. He's made improvements in the spring and fall. He's gone through a tough competition. We've seen some tough competition from the last 2 opponents in particular we played against. I don't know that we'll see better defenses in the next couple months than what we've seen. So he's been tested. He came out of it, I think, with some confidence, and he'll need that going, you know, to the next 2 games on the road, you know, against a really good pass defense in San Jose State in particular, and then we'll go down to San Diego. So I think he's going to have confidence from it, and we certainly expect it.
Any more questions for Coach? All right, we'll let him go.